Well, I would like to thank everybody for joining us for tonight's webinar as we learn how to build an epic charcuterie board. I'm Greg Berry, Assistant Director in the UAB Office of Alumni Affairs. Just a quick disclaimer, since this is a virtual discussion, please don't be surprised if you hear or see any technical issues or anything that may be out of place. I think I heard a dog in the background at one point. Tonight, we are getting interactive as we explore the culinary world of charcuterie boards. Taking us through tonight's presentation is Katie Whalen. Katie is the founder of Brie Mine Bham and an RN at Children's Hospital, and she also works in the oncology bone marrow transplant floor. Brie Mine has been a passion project for Katie and comes from her love for cheese and wine. Now, before we turn things over to Katie, we want to ask a question to y'all. We just kind of want to know where you fit in the charcuterie skill set. Are you a charcuterie rookie, just trying to impress your friends? Maybe you have made a board before, but would like to improve your skills. Or are you a pro who's just freshening up on your charcuterie skills before the holidays? We'll leave that poll up just for a few more minutes. Now, as we go through tonight, feel free to ask questions through the chat room. I will be administering those with the ladies there. Toss your questions there. I will make sure that she addresses them. As for our poll results, it looks like this is most people's first charcuterie board. I know that it is my first charcuterie board, and I'm very excited to get this going with Katie. Now, as you make your culinary creation tonight, be sure to take pictures and share them with us. We want to see them. Email them to us at alumni.uab.edu or tag us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at UAB Alumni. And Katie, I'm all set. I've got everything here. I'm going to be going along with you. So at this point, it's your show. Let's take us through what we have going on tonight.
All right. Well, welcome, everyone. So first, you're going to get your board. You're going to make sure that you have all the things that you need. So first, you start with your anchor. So for tonight, I have little mini honey jars that I usually put in all my boards and boxes. So you kind of, I've got this. I've got some pepper jelly for mine and some olives. So you kind of just want to have it like equally anchored throughout your board. So you can just put your honey if you have some. And also if you've got little dishes that you want to put honey, olives, jams, or anything like that, and you are more than welcome to use those. I'm just going to put our olives on our board, and then I'm also going to put my pepper jelly on here. And also, this is my friend Alyssa, and this is my friend Tara. Have y'all made charcuterie boards before?
Nope.
No?
This is my first time.
Okay.
Although, like last week, I did try to make a cookie charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Because I was like trying to impress my friends, but it was not that cute. So this is much better, I think.
Well, I feel like these are fairly easy. So next we're going to do our cheese. I usually do 2 soft cheeses and 1 hard cheese. So tonight I have a Brie, a blueberry vanilla goat cheese, and Alyssa has a cinnamon cranberry goat cheese. And then we've got an aged sharp cheddar. You can do Gouda or Asiago or Havarti or pretty much any of somewhat hard cheeses. If you're really picky, you can do Colby Jack. I'm not going to judge you. But I go ahead and I slice all of my cheeses just because, especially if you're doing this for like a party, no one wants to be the one like standing up there like trying to like awkwardly cut like pieces of cheese. So I slice my Brie kind of like you do like a cake slice, and depending on like the amount of people that you have, depends on the size of cuts that you do. You guys are doing great. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and place my Brie on the plate. I like some symmetry, so and I also will tilt my board up from time to time so that y'all can like see where I'm putting stuff. Beautiful. Next, I'm gonna do my goat cheese. This one is actually very messy. If you don't have a handy dandy cheese slicer like this, if you're gonna start doing charcuterie boards, I highly recommend it. It wire cuts it, and it makes it so much neater and like a pretty like slice. And I just I layer these on the board.
She didn't buy us fancy wire slicers.
You guys get knives. I told you, it's real messy.
Fine. Is it better if it's colder? So
you can put it in the freezer for a couple minutes just to harden it up. But honestly, I just feel like these goat cheeses are really hard to slice. Yeah, just crumbled. I'll just do these.
Do you have a recommendation on how to pair your cheeses? One that's a little more mild flavor, one that's a little bit fruity, one that's a little more pungent?
Yeah, I like to kind of have a crowd pleaser. I feel like an Asiago is pretty safe, as well as an aged cheddar. And there's nothing wrong with an aged cheddar. I know people are like, cheddar, it's a charcuterie board. You should be doing fancy stuff. But you also don't want to overwhelm people with different crazy flavors. If I do a sweet kind of the blue cheese, vanilla goat cheese, I also want to make sure that I've got something that can be savory. I tend to lean more on the sweet side of charcuterie boards. And I usually have to ask people when they're ordering, do you want sweet or do you want savory? Because I will make it sweet all day long. Next is just the cheddar. You can cut this however you want. I'm going to cut it longwise to where it's long strips. You're more than welcome to cut it however you like.
What's your favorite cheese, Katie?
My favorite cheese. I mean, I'm very, very impartial to that blueberry vanilla goat cheese. It is fantastic. But also, there is a Merlot Asiago.
That sounds so good.
And I could eat that all day long.
And where do we buy that?
You can buy that actually anywhere. I've seen it at Publix, I've seen it at Costco, and I've seen it at Trader Joe's. All of these. It is everywhere. So I'm going to put it on this side. I don't know if we can all see that.
So are there any cheese pairings that you just wouldn't do? Some cheeses that just don't play well with each other?
That's a good question. I think at the end of the day, it all is personal preference. I obviously wouldn't do a board of all soft cheeses, just because that can get a little monotonous. I don't think that I would do a blue cheese with another super powerful cheese, because then it's you're kind of over exhausting your taste buds. Okay, good. Next, I do the meat. So tonight we have a peppered salami and a pepperoni. I'll do a close-up of how I fold this. I'm going to show them and then I'll show y'all. So I take and you fold it in half like a taco, and then you fold it one more time. So it looks like this, triangle. And then I line them up, and sometimes I wrap them around the brie because it can look pretty. And I also I interchange the pepperoni and salami. So circle, taco, and then you fold it one more time. Yeah.
And then you just put them all together.
Yeah. I'm gonna interchange mine with the pepperoni and salami.
Do you do your pepperoni thing?
Mm-hmm. Yep, pepperoni's the exact same, just smaller.
So what's the trick with prosciutto, since it's a little thin and a little more flimsy?
Yes, prosciutto. I wish I had some. You can make prosciutto roses. You take it and you can tear it down the middle, and if you twist you're twisting ribbon, and then you just roll it, it makes a pretty rose. Or you can do a prosciutto river, where you kind of just like move it in a snake-like form down the platter, and it can make a pretty little ribbon.
Can you show a close-up of your salami again and how you folded that for our audience?
But 1 second. Puppies can smell the salami. Okay, so I take this and I fold it in half. So you've got like a taco, and then you take that and you fold that in half. And then I'll bring my tray closer together so that y'all can see what it looks like.
So do you just like stick them between stuff so they stand up, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of the times, once they warm up a good bit, the grease kind of holds them together, which is gross,
But delicious.
but delicious. And
But
it's,
what we want.
and it's okay if like they fall down. I'm gonna bring this closer so we can see what we have so far. So I just went ahead and put the pepperoni and the salami next to my brie. And I'll be able to tilt this better once I have more stuff on the board.
This is so cute. No, mine's
Mine's
already
doing
So good.
I feel like mine's not as like organic looking. I feel like it looks a little
No,
staged.
Cute.
listen. I tell people there's no rules with charcuterie.
That's true.
Just make sure you have cheese on the board and
And wine.
preferably wine.
Yes.
So next I do the fruit. And this is just kind of like filling in some spaces, but also making sure that you leave room for crackers and nuts and just other fun things. So I do grapes first just because they take up the most room.
Okay. Thank you, Mom.
I feel like that already made it look better.
Yeah, grapes make it look better. And if you want to do strawberries next. And I slice.
So when it comes to
Go ahead.
When it comes to your boards, do you always use a wood board? Do you play around with the boards and kind of mix it up?
Yeah, I love a good like wooden board. I think those look the prettiest. I have one that's marble and it's really, really pretty. I prefer the round boards. I think those look better. But honestly, so Alyssa's using, I got this from Trader Joe's. It's an olive wood board, but shut up, Ann. I literally got it for like $11. So honestly, I mean, there's plenty of things I'm like, what can I put cheese on? Like, you can put it on a plate if you want. Like, you can put it on a cake stand. There's plenty of options. Get even other stuff.
Now, if you use grapes, do you keep them on the vine or do you take them off?
I keep them on the vine just because they look prettier on the vine. And I've got blackberries, blueberries, and some pomegranate
What
seeds
should I
as
do with
well.
the pomegranate seeds?
I leave the pomegranate seeds for the end, and I
Oh.
just sprinkle them everywhere.
Like, should I just make a little pile, or is that gonna look stupid?
I mean, you do whatever you want.
I think I'm too much of a perfectionist for this. I'm like, it's not that cute.
Alyssa's already adding her pomegranate. She's an overachiever.
I like to be an A+ student.
Okay. Next, I've got some dried pomegranates. I've got some dried apricots. I usually have some dried figs as well. Those go well with your boards. But I feel like dry fruit just kind of goes with cheese. So,
Would you like a couple pieces too? That's please.
thank you.
Welcome.
So sweet. Such good shares.
For good children.
And then next, I'm going to do the crackers. So I usually have two types of crackers. I usually just have like a plain, whether it's a pita cracker or these are, what do you call those? Water wafers, crackers. And then I also have, these are rosemary and raisin crackers from Trader Joe's, and they're phenomenal. If you just want to like take off whole row.
An entire row?
Yeah.
All right.
All fritters.
Once you put those on, can you just kind of give us an update of how that board looks, a closer look at your current one?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys saw these, but Katie also has these like adorable Trader Joe's like fall tortilla chips that are so cute.
Someone asked me, they were like, "Did you make those yourself?" I was like, No. I don't even know where I would begin to make those.
Trader Joe's needs to like give you some sort of little
Yeah.
sponsorship.
Yeah, really.
I get the vast majority of my stuff from Trader Joe's. Let's be honest, they should sponsor me.
If anyone has any connections out there,
Any UAB people. Okay, I'm gonna try and tilt this down.
Ooh, I like how you made your other crackers stand up too.
And I'll try
I'm
to.
running out of space on here.
I don't need to. Got a little overzealous.
You're gonna make this cheese stuff.
See, smell my cheese.
I have a little extra.
Okay. Next is just like the fun parts. I've got everything nuts. I've got rosemary, almonds, candy pecans, and chocolate almonds. So I say whatever you want, put on it. I usually do actually all four on my board because I love them. So, and again, you're just filling space on the board, so you can pile them in one area. You can wait till the end, and you can just sprinkle them all around.
Sorry.
I went to a baby shower this past weekend, and I did a charcuterie board for them, and they asked me like how to eat it, and I truly believe there's no wrong way to eat charcuterie, but I was like, let me just tell you about my favorite bite. And so I hope everyone has this at home. I get a one of the rosemary raisin crackers, a little bit of the blueberry goat cheese, put that on a cracker, drizzle it with honey, put a blackberry on it, and a candy pecan.
That is a tall bite.
And you have to put the whole thing in your mouth, because the different flavors that you get is honestly, it is pretty amazing. And people were like, "Oh my gosh, have you had Katie's Bites? Have you had Katie's Bites?" I was like, guys, I did not trademark this. We cannot name it this. But
I love it.
it's one of my party.
So what were your four go-tos that you're putting on right again? Somebody was asking again.
So I've got a chocolate almond. I've got candy pecans. I think these are actually, yeah, they're rosemary almonds. And then I've got, they're called everything nuts, and it's got everything but the seasoning on the nuts. And I just kind of like a sweet and savory like mixture of it all. And then just for fun reasons, I have these are butter toffee pretzels. I've got pumpkin spice covered pretzels and then chocolate covered toffee pretzels. Because like I warned you guys, I have a huge sweet tooth. So I like to, I mean, you can't have a charcuterie board without pretzels. So I usually do like a different array of them all on there. I'm gonna do one of each. Just to make it look pretty.
My board's getting really full. So.
And I
Look at mine.
But it's not done yet. I've also got dark chocolate covered peanut butter cups because you can't have cheese without chocolate. And also if you're drinking wine, it's also a great little.
I'm like, where can I squeeze one more thing on this board that I've like sprinkled it in here?
Do it.
Here.
So are most of the ingredients kind of cracker size so they fit nicely together?
Yeah, I think the rosemary raisin crackers, they're small, but I think they're so flavorful that they kind of get the job done. And then as far as like the Waterford crackers, sometimes I do these, sometimes I do like the pita chips. And honestly, you can kind of do whatever. You can do like pita. I don't know if y'all can see this. Oh goodness, just drops it on the floor. It's fine.
Lives in a net.
Yep. And I'll turn it.
Where do you get these cute little honeycomb things?
Amazon.
They're so cute.
Also, Amazon should sponsor me because the amount that I use them.
This like ups the professional. Like if I brought these out at my house, people would be like, "She's."
You know, it is one of like the number one thing that people are excited about is the little things. Because I also give a little shovel and a little fork with all of my stuff. So, yeah, that is it. Can I see y'all? I'm gonna bring this over so y'all can see theirs.
I can't move mine; it'll fall.
So that's Alyssa's. Beautiful.
Here's mine.
And there's
cute,
Tara's.
Very proud.
That is really good,
I feel like
guys.
I need to take a picture.
We will take a picture.
And then, of course, the most important thing that you have to have with this is your glass of wine, because cheese and wine go together.
Perfect match. So when it comes to putting the charcuterie together, do you think at all color? Because obviously you eat with your eyes first, and they say a lot of times you want to have a variety, you know, reds, greens, yellows, stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely love to, like if I'm gonna have a brie and a cheddar on the board, I like to have the blueberry goat cheese, just because the blueberry goat cheese in itself is, when you cut it, it's a beautiful like cheese. And then you don't want to put, you know, like your grapes next to your blueberry goat cheese, because those are both purple, and you kind of just want to spread the color like all over the board. So yeah, you definitely eat with your eyes first for sure.
Yeah. So somebody wants to know what is in the glass containers. They might be talking about the bowls again. Right there.
This. So these are little mini honeys that I put in all of my boxes and boards. And I always challenge someone, because there's always someone that has never had cheese and honey together. You do it. You can put literally honey on any type of cheese, and it is delicious.
A little sweet, a little salty.
Yeah.
It's the best.
So why do you think charcuterie now has kind of taken off into another atmosphere? Because it's really popular, it's really in as we speak.
Well, I mean, 2020 has been a hard year. I think I can speak for everyone. It's been not a great year. And I mean, honestly, if you look at this board, I know like a lot of people weren't going to grocery stores at the beginning. A lot of this stuff, like you can really put anything on a charcuterie board. Like Tara said, she did a cookie board. I've done candy boards. I've done, I've done s'mores boxes and boards and stuff like that. And so I think it just kind of like breaks up the monotonous of, you know, your meat, your vegetable, your starch. And I mean, all of those things are like represented on this board, but in a fun way. And also you get to be so creative. Like one of my favorite things is watching people eat the boards and getting to see the different type of like combinations that they have, and then being like, oh my gosh, you need to try, you know, the brie with, I don't know, an olive, which I don't recommend, but maybe it's good. I don't know. But like you get to be so creative with it. And I think it just kind of, it gives you something new and exciting. And also to like fellowship around it, you know, just the time that you get to spend with people. And it's easy to eat, so.
There's obviously 3 of you there, and there's dozens of us in the room. But what's the biggest group that you've worked with and kind of collaborated to make a charcuterie board?
Like that I brought someone?
Or that you interacted with, and kind of like you have the 2 ladies behind you.
Yeah. Well, a couple, I think it was in September. So September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and the fact that I work on that floor, it definitely is close to home. But there is a nonprofit called Open Hands, Overflowing Hearts, and they had a class for very similar to this of how to make a charcuterie board. And I think that we had 80 people in the class. And it was a really cool experience. And so I also tell people to make sure that if you are tagging people in your picture, because I really, really want to see it, put it on your Instagram story and tag Brie _Mine Bham. And I will put you on my story so that I can see it and I can brag about you guys, because I know without even seeing them, I know they already look beautiful.
You mentioned s'more boards, you mentioned candy boards, cocktail boards. Do you have any suggestion for cocktail boards?
Oh man, that sounds delicious.
Where to begin, right?
Right? Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Man, cocktail boards. I mean, you definitely need to have your olives on there for people that want martinis. I think like something that could be like fun stirs. You could do like rock candy, those sticks as like stirs. I really want to do a hot chocolate board like this coming Christmas season of like different things that you can put in the hot chocolate, but also have it like adult version. Like you can do like little mini, Baileys or like peppermint schnapps and stuff like that. I think that would be so fun. But I'm gonna have to think about a cocktail board. That sounds amazing.
Got the wheels turning now, so that's good. So what are some of the craziest things that you've actually put on a charcuterie board?
I guess it's not too crazy. I had someone ask me to do, they were very specific. They wanted blueberry jam. They wanted powdered mini donuts. They wanted the Break 5, I think is the candy brand. They wanted that. And they wanted cheese, of course, and some meat and like just a little bit of fruit. Like I was like, so I'm making you like a candy board with fruit and some cheese on there. Like, okay, I respect that. And I try to cater to whatever people are asking as far as what they want. I've put cupcakes on boards. I've put cookies. Yeah, pretty much whatever people want.
And at that point, it's just a matter of kind of filtering in and filling in around it then, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you want the main thing to be cupcakes, I'm gonna make that happen for you.
We mentioned the 3 cheeses, or you can have more cheeses.
Yeah.
And you'd probably shy away from a couple of things here and there. Are there things that you would never put on a charcuterie board?
Some people, I have done a low carb board. It killed me a little as I had to do that because I believe that carbs are good for you. What would I never put on a charcuterie board? I guess something that would like go bad pretty quickly. Because like also as soon as you like break the rind of brie, it starts to harden like immediately. I mean, I guess I would never put like mayonnaise on a board. I'm like trying to think of like, or like, yeah, sardines.
Something cooked where it's like it's not going to be good after it's just sitting out.
Or like it needs to be eaten immediately rather than like room temperature. Yeah.
How long can you keep a board out? And obviously it depends on what you have on it, but like the ones that we made tonight.
I do tell people to, I tell them to set it out for about 10 minutes before you eat it, just to let the cheese soften a little, and it increases in flavor when it's cold or when it's warmer. But I would say probably a max of like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But then again, how many times have we been at tailgates and we eat the macaroni or the coleslaw that's been sitting out all day, and we've all lived? So it's up to your own discretion, but from my business point, I say 2 hours.
So obviously, you had the interest in cheese and wine. When did you start crafting and creating your first charcuterie board?
So it started probably, the business part started in June. So I think probably at the the start of the warm season, probably in about March, my family just built a lake house. And every time we went, we were like, oh, we need a charcuterie board. And I was like, I can do that. And so I started making one for my family. And we all just loved, after being out in the lake for a long day, coming in and just gorging ourselves on meat and cheese. And it just kind of took off from there. I made one for a friend and she was like, you should sell these. And I was like, it is the 2020 in the middle of COVID. Like, I don't have time for this, both emotionally and mentally and financially. And next thing I know, it took off. So we're definitely in a charcuterie passion right now.
So if people, and I'll show mine just because I don't know if it's any good or not. Tilt this down. It's okay. It's not anything close to being like yours. So if you put it together like this, and I couldn't do the roses with my prosciutto, I'm not going to lie. But if I fail and people fail like me, can they get in touch with you and actually pre-order some for the holidays?
Absolutely. I do have my cutoff for Thanksgiving orders is tonight at like 10 p.m. So you have like 2.5 hours. Pickup is going to be on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. The crackers and nuts will be prepackaged so that they don't get gross in the refrigerator. So if anyone wants to order for Thanksgiving, you're more than welcome to order tonight. And then I just encourage people, do not wait to order for Christmas, because it is going to be a busy, busy year as far as not just Christmas parties, but a lot of employers are giving them to their employees as Christmas gifts and whatnot. So yeah, absolutely. Just send me a message on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'll ask a couple questions as far as, what size and what day, and if you have any preferences. And it's that simple.
Where do you suggest people go to buy cheeses? There's a whole lot of stores out there. Which ones have the best and the most diverse selections?
Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
I think I probably get 90% of my stuff from Trader Joe's. Every now and then, if I've got like a big order, Costco is really good. Aldi's is also really good, but I would say Trader Joe's for sure.
Same with accoutrements?
The what?
With the accoutrements, is it the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the vast majority, I think probably 95% of this board came from Trader Joe's.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Trader Joe's.
And how about wooden boards? Obviously, Amazon. Can you find them anywhere else?
Home Goods has great wooden boards. Target also has great boards. I'm trying to think I got that olive wood one from Trader Joe's. I randomly was like, oh man, that's a cute little board, and it would be great for a 2-person board, like Alyssa has, or 1 person. Some people say I don't know if I need to order like a smaller, and I'm like, if you try hard enough, you can eat the whole thing. So I probably will eat this whole thing tonight. So
how long does it take you to get through a charcuterie board eating it?
Oh man, it depends on the amount of people. My family, after we're done demolishing a board, we always are like, man, we jumped on that like a pack of dogs on a 3-legged cat. And it can be gone in 10 minutes. But I mean, for me to eat this board, we're going to be drinking wine and talking. So I'm going to say 30 minutes, maybe an hour. It's a grazing dinner.
It's like they are starting to freeze up, so I don't know if that's our cue to to move along, and thank you for everything. But thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. It's been tremendous having you on.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to get my name out there and to teach people the things I know. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much again. If you are in the audience and you made a charcuterie board, we would love to see them. Katie's Facebook, her Instagram is on the chat room. Go ahead and take a look at that. Post them on social media. Tag us at UAB Alumni as well. You can also email alumni.uab or alumni@uab.edu. And I'll put that slide right there. There we are. You can look us up all over social media. We're also on LinkedIn. And be sure to check out future events in our office on Tuesday, November 17th. Join us for Novel Approaches to Diabetes as we welcome Dr. Anath Shalev and Dr. Fernando Aval. On Thursday, December 3rd, be part of Happy Holidays, creating dementia-friendly environments on traditions with Dr. Rita Jablonski. On January 12th, we will have Dr. Jim McClintock for From Penguins to Plankton, Impacts of Climate Change on Antarctica. And on January 21st, we will host AI in Libraries to discover how artificial intelligence holds the potential to revolutionize libraries and information work. And we are finalizing in December a Hamilton webinar that you won't want to miss. We'll have more details on that coming up next Tuesday when we have the Novel Approaches to Diabetes webinar. All of those can be found at alumni.uab.edu/events. If you are looking for an alumni podcast, we've got it for you. Check out the UAB Green and Told podcast. Episodes drop every other week and feature members of the UAB community. This week, we welcome Dr. Donna Murdaugh and Dr. Andrew McDonald. Hear this couple's story on Spotify and iTunes, or visit alumni.uab.edu/green and told. Finally, if you want to reach us, there we are, alumni@uab.edu, and on the World Wide Web, alumni.uab.edu. Once again, thank you all for joining us for tonight's presentation with Katie Whalen. Have a great evening, and as always, go Blazers.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.